Ako naman, Juan.
Girl next to the door.
Good morning. Hi.
Morning,
I'd like to
morning.
introduce you Mr. Jeremy Buendia. Welcome.
Hey, good morning. Good morning.
That's Jeremy. That's Ate Beth, Dego, Doc Bong. We have Kong outside and Angel also. So have a seat.
So are you sitting down as well?
Yes. Sit right there. There we go. So Mr. Jeremy Buendia is a four-time Mr. Olympia Physique, right? Champion?
Yes.
And you've been here in the Philippines for how long already?
I've been here since last week. I was in Cebu first.
Yeah.
And I came back here from Manila for work. But I was out here last month as well for the EVG Nutrition Apex bodybuilding. Don't hit the
Okay, so I've heard that you've been here for a couple of years already, helping the Filipinos when it comes to bodybuilding. So, because you've been in the industry for so long already. So, how do you help the Filipinos when it comes to this industry?
Well, I want to help provide opportunities for the athletes out here. The IFBB Pro League was the organization I'm a part of, which is the #1 organization in the world that leads to the Mr. Olympia, which is like the World Cup of bodybuilding. Okay, so that's the biggest show, and the only way to get there is through the IFBB Pro League. And there are now opportunities here in the Philippines for the Filipinos to turn pro, and that's going to create much more opportunities. There's a competition, the first pro qualifier in September here in Manila called Muscle Contest, and there's going to be the first pro show and pro qualifier in December called the Sean Roden Classic here in Manila. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities for these athletes to turn pro in this industry, which is growing and booming so much, and it's going to provide them, possibly a very good career. And I'm very excited for them. So it's gonna help them navigate.
Yeah. So, what kind of help do you provide to this Filipino? Like, you help them with it when it comes to their training, or do you give motivational speech as well with them?
Yeah, motivate them, inspire them, help them navigate through understanding how to progress. Social media is very big nowadays, especially in our industry. So helping them understand how to market themselves and brand themselves is very important. I met an athlete last month that was phenomenal. I think he has a lot of potential. So I'm actually sponsoring him to come out to do the Amateur Olympia in the United States the day before my competition in Las Vegas. So if he wins that show, he turns pro, and that's going to be a lot of exposure for him internationally.
Yes, of course.
When he comes back to his homeland, he'll be a star. So just like that, I can have a chance of taking a young athlete and creating a big opportunity for him overnight. So
I'm just curious, like, how do you help these Filipino people? Like, now you have a charity also, right? So what kind of charity do you do?
Well, back in the United States, I have the Jeremy Buendia Foundation. We've raised money for the Children's Cancer Foundation and the American Red Cross. But now I came back over here to the Philippines, and it's part of my heritage. So I feel like it's part of my heart to come back here and to give back. My great uncle, my grandfather's cousin was Senator Nicholas Buendia, and he did a lot of charity work during his time as a politician here. So I just feel like it's part of me to come back and give back to my people. And we'll be hosting a charity event in October here in the Philippines that we've been game planning for, and it's going to be an amazing event. And I plan to help a lot of people with my time here.
Okay. And how competitive are the Filipinos when it comes to the world, the other countries that we have here when it comes to competing for Mr. Olympia?
In the newer divisions that have been created in bodybuilding, bodybuilding has been around for a very long time, but the guys are a lot bigger, and they continue to grow. So for our body types as Filipinos, we're not the biggest people in the world. And they're in the open division, we don't necessarily have the capability. Not saying we don't have the capabilities. Our body is a lot harder for us to get to that size.
Yeah.
But the new divisions like Classic Physique and my division, Men's Physique, we're the perfect candidate for it. We got small waists, we got round muscle belly, small joints, and we're good-looking people.
So these are the new divisions in the competition.
Yeah, and they've helped grow the sport in a lot of ways because it's become more mainstream. It's more obtainable for a lot of people to do it.
So everybody can compete, right?
Exactly. So bodybuilding has always been the foundation of our sport, but the branch of these new divisions has really created and opened doors for a lot of people to participate.
It's good.
Is there any age group that you're monitoring on right now? Is there a limit when it comes to competing for Mr. Olympia?
No, there's not. There's athletes in all into their 40s that are competing on Olympia
40s?
stage. Yeah, there's an athlete in his 50s that competed.
So me and Jaco can still compete, right?
You'd be surprised what I can do with you guys. If you gave me 8 weeks. I got a shredding ebook that would get you guys ripped in 8 weeks.
All right. That I like. Do.
Who is your youngest competitor?
Well, right now I only work with 18-year-olds, unless 18 is the youngest right now. I've worked with younger. It's a very touchy subject with the younger generation because they they need to focus on getting through school first and education and stuff, and prioritizing their time on that. You know, you can bodybuild and everything, but if you don't have the mental game behind it, you're not going to be able to become successful because you got to be able to understand business as well. And in order to succeed in anything, you got to be able to be well-rounded. And if you're just focusing on weightlifting, and not focusing on, you know, becoming more of an intellect, you know, you're not going to succeed as well.
It's not balance.
Yeah, so I like to see the athletes, the younger generation, focus on, you know, building their foundation first, and then, you know, training and working out, and then once they've established themselves, then they can go on to competing and spending their money doing shows and trying to work their way up.
I want to talk about your motivation for a second. First of all, a lot of bodybuilders have reasons behind why they are the way they are. Like, for example, some of them were fat kids, some were skinny kids.
Initially, right?
Some were bullied. What was your motivation to...
I'm half Pinoy. My father's Filipino, my mother is American, and, you know, I grew up in a very disciplined household. And my dad, you know, loves sports, very competitive. And he just always pushed me to be my best. And sports was something I've grown up in a very young age. And he taught me hard work and persistence is what was going to lead me to success. So from a very young age, I just had a drive to be competitive. And that's what it was. I wasn't picked on or bullied. Or, you know, it didn't come from anything. I just found my relaxation, my therapy, or whatever it was in bodybuilding and weightlifting. That's what I enjoyed doing. It's
a special reliever for you.
And how do you maintain your physique?
Yeah.
I mean, it's difficult getting to the way you look.
It's a lifestyle. And, you know, once you start to understand the lifestyle, you start understanding dieting. You know, it's not what a lot of people think, where there is flexibility. Once you learn your body and learn how foods work, you're able to have a more variety of your diet. You don't have to stick to a very strict diet all the time. You're eating clean foods, but you learn how to eat healthy. And you don't eat bad foods because your body, you program your mind not to even want that stuff.
Of course.
So I like to eat good food, but if I go out, like, I usually eat relatively healthy, but that, to me, it's still good food because that's what I choose to eat.
Especially here in the Philippines. You're in the Philippines now.
You know, education of nutrition is going to be very important in the Philippines. You know, there's definitely ways of making food more healthy. Like, I like to take dishes that I like and figure out how to make them healthier. Like, my favorite thing to eat is like chicken adobo. My dad makes that sinigang, tinola. All these are dishes that you can make healthier if you prepare them a certain way. And these are all, you know, staples in the Filipino diet that people can learn how to, you know, make them healthier. Instead of using pork for your adobo, use chicken breast.
Yes.
You know, sinigang, use, you know, chicken breast or leaner cut meats. You know, low sodium, use low sodium soy sauce, and things like that are what the type of education that people need. Understanding nutrient timing.
Yes.
And for those who want to get started in bodybuilding, some of them shy away from this because they find it quite expensive. Given that you said it a while ago, our body types are not really made for being built the way the way you are. So do you suggest that like supplements like protein shakes, creatine?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my body has been.
Right?
I've worked hard a long time to earn my body. You know, as many Filipinos can, we have great genetics. These athletes are great. They can do it through time. It takes time and patience, and supplementation is very important. EVG Nutrition out here is our supplement company and my team that's been making a huge push in the industry. They've been putting a lot of efforts into, you know, bringing awareness and helping these athletes get to that next level. You know, sponsoring athletes, giving them supplements, educating them, and the team that they have is just very compassionate group. You know, they've done a lot to help the athletes, and they see the potential here, and they're going full force with it. And it motivates me because I know that I got a very strong team behind me that is willing to do whatever it takes to help these young athletes.
When it comes to the competition, because I've never really seen a physical competition of bodybuilding, what are the criteria for judging there? What do they consider for you to be a good bodybuilder?
Yeah, well, there's different divisions. So open bodybuilding is the big guys. There's no weight class. They're in the really short shrunks, so they're judged from head to toe, and it's about who's the biggest, who's the hardest looking, who's the most vascular. And then you got the next division, which is 212. So it's everybody that's under 212 pounds, still who's the biggest, who's the hardest. And then you got classic physique, which is the newest division, which are kind of go back to like the old and golden era, which is like the Arnold Schwarzenegger days. So you have to be a certain height to a certain weight. So if you go over your weight or your height, you can't compete in that category. So you're limited on how massive you can be. And then you got my division, which is the smallest division, is the men's physique, and you're in board shorts. And it's more of like a aesthetic, model type fitness look, and it's evolved over the years. When it first started, we were a lot smaller. It was almost like an Abercrombie and Fitch type model, and And you can tell I'm much bigger than that now.
Yes.
But I was 155 pounds when I first competed at Olympia.
Oh, wow.
My last Olympia, I was 185 pounds. So the sport's literally grown 30 pounds in the last 5 years of what type of athletes they are.
But is this sports open only for women? For
Women,
men?
no, we have women's divisions as well. There's women's physique, which is the most muscular women.
Yes.
Women's figure, which is like the medium, and then you got women's bikini. And then we also have women's fitness, which is like the gymnastics and the flips and all the other stuff like that. So there's a wide variety for all demographics.
All types, right.
Yeah, yeah. And bikini is something that's growing really quickly here in the Philippines as well. And a lot of the girls here are shy and they're kind of shying away from it. And I just want to encourage them to get up on stage because there's a lot of potential. The Filipino women are beautiful and they have a lot of potential to do things great in the industry. And I think they just need a little bit of a push and encouragement to do so. There's a Filipino from here that moved to America that just qualified for Olympia. She actually did one of the very first shows. Her name is Sherry Esparra. And she's going to be doing Olympia. She's full Filipino from the Philippines.
Oh, really?
Moved to California. Okay, so can you please promote your activities for the coming days?
Yeah. We're like I said, I'll be back out here August 11th to the 16th. I'll be working with an athlete. His name is Vin. I'll be bringing him to the United States to compete at the Amateur Olympia. And I'll be, just trying to give him the right tools he needs to advance himself in his career. And I'm going to do everything in my power to help him get to that next level. Like I said, there's the muscle contest in September for we have a Mr. Philippines currently who's going to be competing there to hopefully turn pro.
Oh, really?
So that's a big opportunity for him as well. With my charity event coming up in October 27th is the date we're going to be locking in. We're just trying to confirm the venue right now. But it's going to be a big mainstream event. I want to bring health and wellness awareness
Yes.
to the general public of the Philippines. So, I want to have various activities. It's not just to be bodybuilding and fitness. I want to bring in everything around fitness and try to draw a great audience so we can really make an impact and give back and raise some good money for
On that note, thank you so much, Mr. Jeremy Buendia, our four-time Mr. Olympia Physique champion. Of course, they can also follow you on Instagram, right?
Instagram, of course.
Okay, Jeremy Buendia. Just search for him. Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks so much.